Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to Snatch Chat, where I'm here to help you lose fat, but not your mind. I'm Tiffany, certified personal trainer, nutrition specialist, and your body snatcher. Today, I'm going to go over the absolute best way to manage your portions, okay? I will go ahead and say that this is going to basically be all about the wonderful food scale, but I don't only just have points about it, I'm actually going to demonstrate my examples and what I'm talking about. I have my food scale here. I have some chips, okay, and I'm going to just kind of show you what I mean by the points I'm going to make, okay? So basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to just give you the three main reasons you should be using one and how it really helps you with your portion control, other than just the clear, obvious part of just, giving you the actual portion size. It's actually more than that. It's more mental and more habitual and things like that. So I'm going to go into all of that. But before I do, make sure you get your free workouts and your little kit. It's linked below. It basically has some workouts and all kinds of other goodies, nutrition and some habit control stuff, all in a little packet. So completely free, no strings attached. Just go to the bio or the description and get it. And then make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you find it useful, okay? As usual, I will say this is a chat. It's called Snatch Chat for a reason. I have notes in front of me just to keep me on point. They're very short today, so because personally, I just love a food scale. So it's not going to be too hard, so my points are really short. But yeah, I definitely have some notes, so if I look down, that's what I'm doing. Don't be harsh, okay? Just let it be. All right, I'm just gonna go ahead and get right into it, okay? So portion control is clearly very important. We all know that. It's not a secret. It's not, a new discovery, but we also all know that clearly it's not as easy as we think because everybody's having a problem with it, right? So we struggle with it in different ways. Some people it's because they snack frequently throughout the day. Some people it can be because they eat bigger portions a few times a day, whatever. But the food scale is a really great way to eliminate all problems on all sides, okay? So just want to put that out in the beginning that the food scale is going to be one of your major defenses, especially in the beginning of your journey, but even as you go along. I still use it every day. Okay, and I am a trained professional, so that should tell you right there that it is very important for success, okay? And I know people talk about food scales, but I don't think it's really pushed as much as it should be. It should be one of your first investments, okay? They're under $20 and they last for a really long time. Like I've never had to, I had to replace mine once, but that's because I broke the battery, because that's what I do. I am one of the people that breaks everything. So it wasn't the fault of the actual food scale, but they do last a really long time, and you can get one for under $20, okay? So that is that. Now I'm going to give the 3 points before I go into the actual, demonstration. All right, so the very first point I want to make about the food scale and why it's so important is your portions are pretty much wrong in the first place, okay? So what happens is a lot of times people are eating more than they think they are, even if they are trying to actually eat less, okay? One of the biggest examples of this that I brought up before is snacks, and that's why I have the chips here, because I'm going to demonstrate this. But on a label, it will say something is 1 ounces, okay? That's usually the standard, size for snacks, 1 ounce or 28 ounces. Sometimes it'll say not 28 ounces, 28 grams. Sometimes it will say 30 grams, okay? So that is the equivalent of an ounce. Most people will never eat an ounce of a snack, and I'm going to show you what an ounce of a snack looks like, okay? So that is the very first point. These points are going to be very fast because I'm going to do most of the explaining with the actual demonstration. So that is the main thing you need to understand, is that however many calories you're eating, and this is all about calories, right, in the end, because the reasons we are trying to lower our portion sizes is to cut our calories, because calories are the only thing that determines if you lose weight. Okay, don't get caught up in all the other arguments, keto and, fasted cardio and intermittent fasting and all that stuff. All those things are a means to getting to a caloric deficit. So the caloric deficit is the most important thing. I know I say that in every video, but I will continue to because it is that important. Okay, so that being said, if you're eating more than you really think, and so by just eliminating some of your portion sizes, by actually having a food scale and knowing the actual calories and the portion you're having, is going to make you very mindful of your food. Which brings me to point number 2, which is, as a result of that, you will become a more intuitive eater. And so this is usually the goal of most people, but they want this goal too fast. So most people want to just go into a fitness journey and they decide that they want to just eat better. So it's a very broad kind of, term. They're going to eat better. So they'll start cutting out certain things. A lot of times it's too excessive. They're cutting out things they shouldn't be cutting out, or they don't truly understand the scope. And a lot of time people have no idea about the deficit and how that's going to work. Okay, so what the food scale does for you is it trains you to know, okay, what portion sizes look like. So while 4 ounces of chicken is the standard size for meat, and that's actually all meat, chicken, fish, pretty much everything, 4 ounces is going to be the standard calculation and what you're going to see on the label. Most people do not eat 4 ounces. Most people eat 6 to 8. Some people go really in on it and they eat like really big portions of meat, right? So you start to learn what the actual calories are and things without even having to read the labels, okay? And this can become very helpful for those of you who really kind of loathe the whole idea of counting calories. I definitely recommend it, but I understand a lot of people do not want to do it and will not do it. So this is one way to kind of fast track your way of being an intuitive eater, okay? I don't think it's the best tactic to just not count calories ever, but if you definitely don't want to do it, it is, the food scale could be a great way to learn your portion sizes, okay? So I'll just put that out there. So that's point number 2. And then the last one is that all of the first 2 points kind of lead to a freedom that a lot of us don't really associate with, our journeys, okay? So when you start to know things instead of having to rely on, doing, excessive measures and all of that, it makes you feel like your fitness journey is not something that is just a at the moment thing, but it's actually something that you're going to do for life. And that is always going to be the goal with fitness. You want to implement things that are going to help you long term and throughout life. So the food scale, because it is training you to know more about your food, and you're going to know portion sizes and you're going to have a better idea of that, you're going to be able to carry that knowledge for life, okay? And the more you use it, the more you will know about portion sizes, okay? So just wanted to put that out there and to really explain that, okay? So let's get into the demonstration. Okay. This is exciting. I love my food scale. Y'all have no idea. Okay. So I've shown you my food scale before in another video, but I'll do it again. So I have an E-Tech City one. I think that's the correct pronunciation. I never looked it back up, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. It's E-Tech City. It's a very popular one. I of course will link it below. This one is great. It's definitely under 20 bucks. I think I spent $15, $16 on it. It comes with a bowl, which honestly I don't use often. I usually just put all my stuff on dishes on the scale and then don't use this, but my fiance does. So, it's just a nice little add-on. I mean, it's, 16 bucks, so it's great to have. But basically this thing, just a quick recap, it measures your food in all kinds of different measurements. So it does ounces, it does grams, it does pounds. If you happen to get to pounds, I don't usually get things up to a pound. It does everything, okay? So Today, what I'm going to show you is basically, and you won't be able to see it really great, which I mean, you know, sorry about that because you're not going to be able to see the screen, but I will explain what's going on, okay? I have a nose itch. I don't know what that is. It means somebody's talking about you, right? I had a nose itch, man. I was trying to hold out for the video, but it was not going to happen. But anyway, so yes, this is the food scale. And what I have are some chips, okay? So I just have a random bag of chips, okay, that I eat. These are Waves kettle cooked chips, 40% less fat than standard chips. First of all, this is just marketing for the most part. They're not that much less fat. I mean, it just depends, but that's not the reason I eat them. I eat these because I really like them. And it goes back to the point that if you are, you know, one of those people that actually weighs your food to a degree and you know what your food entails, you can still enjoy these things, okay? So I eat pretty much what I want. This is just standard, and I just pulled an open bag, okay? So Waves potato chips. It's 130 calories, okay, for 1 ounce, and they say that it's about 9 chips, okay? So this is where I want to show the difference in what the label says versus what you would think, okay? I have a regular bowl here. I guess I could have just used the clear bowl because that's a little better because you can see through the thing. So look, this is actually coming in handy. So I'm gonna do all of it in front of me because you can't see it and I can't do it. You know, maybe I'll become more advanced with my videos and stuff. So, but I will show you how it works. So basically when you turn it on, okay, it's going to start with 0 and you have to pick your setting. So I have it on grams already. So if I took this, when I take this off, okay, it goes to negative 130. That's because this thing actually measures your food based on what you are weighing it on. So that's a great feature. So this TARE, this tare button, it starts it at 0. So if I push it after you've put on a bowl or something, it will start at 0. So for instance, like I'm gonna take this off and I'm gonna tare this and it's gonna start at 0, okay, with me just holding it, right? But if I take this bowl and I put it on there, it's going to say 382 grams, okay? But if I push tare again, okay, it's gonna go down to 0. So you can use your dishes. So I think a lot of people think you have to like measure the food and then like you can use your dishes, okay, and actually just make the food how you would anyway. So if you're going to use a bowl, you use a bowl, stuff like that. So it says 0, okay? But I'm going to use this one just for example. So we're at 0 tare, okay? So I'm going to put that on the ground and tare it. So you want it on a level ground so that it's not, you know, completely whatever. All right, so this thing says 9 chips, okay, is 130 calories. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 9 chips. So this is one of the things that kind of irks me is when they say about something. So as we all know, potato chips have different sizes. So there are some big ones. You know, once you get to the bottom of the bag where I'm kind of going, you're going to get less than that, right? So let's take some chips. So this is like 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Those coming. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So this is 9 tiny chips. Okay? 9 small chips. As if they're not the full thing, right? On the food scale, do you know how much that is? 15 grams. Okay, so basically, this is half an ounce. This is not the full ounce, okay? So basically, we're looking at like 65 calories for this. Now, if you didn't have a food scale and you were going based on 9 chips, you would either think that this is 9 chips or you would say this is definitely not 9 chips. And you may just say, you know, I'll just add, I don't know, another handful or something, right? And then you'd put that up there. Do you know what this is? This is 25 grams. So you still haven't even got an ounce. And what is this, like maybe 20 pieces so far? So I'm going to show you what the actual ounce looks like, okay? So we could probably add like a few more little things on there. Take away one, and we are at 28, okay? So this is 28 grams, okay? I can't show you the food scale, but forget it. I'll just show you the amount of chips. So this is 28 grams of chips. This is 130 calories, okay? So now, I would say this is definitely a okay portion size. You know, if you're eating it with some sandwich or something like that, I think most people would say this is a decent amount of chips. A lot of people, however, would say they would devour this in 2 seconds, because a lot of us, when we eat chips, we eat them out the bag. So this is one way where like individual portion size bags really comes in handy. So if you're willing to eat all of your snacks that way, that can be helpful, because they do package it individually. But I would also like to give a sidebar that that is not always accurate either. Do you know that, being the fitness professional that I am, I still measure things that are individually wrapped to see if they are doing the right sizes, and often they are not. I even had to hit up one company and tell them they were putting less than what they were promising in their packaging. So definitely do not rely on just what is in the package. It's okay for the most part, just know that it might be off. Another itch. What is going on? Are you talking about me? So anyways, so this is basically an ounce. And then if you put it in this bowl, which this is all coming in very handy actually, having this bowl. So now another thing we do is often we will say, well, we're just going to fill up the bowl. So this bowl, we already know that this is 28 ounces, right? So let's just pour it back in here, and let's tear our black bowl, okay? So right now I have the black bowl on top, okay? It's at 0. I'm gonna throw our chips back in there, okay? So 28, just like we thought, okay? Because that's what we already measured. And we're gonna actually fill the bowl up to how a lot of us eat our snacks. So one of the main things is that a lot of times we actually eat our snacks based on the actual dishes that we're using. So if we have a small bowl, we're gonna just fill up that small bowl. If we have a bigger bowl, we're going to use the bigger bowl. If we happen to eat out the bag, that is just trouble all the way, right? So let's just fill this bag, let's fill this bowl up with some chips, okay? So this is what the bowl of chips looks like. This is not a huge bowl, right? It's not a huge bowl. It's just, you know, whatever. Take a guess on your own how many ounces this is. Okay, time's up. This is 73 ounces, okay? 73 ounces of chips. All right, so let's do a little bit of math. So 130 calories and 28 grams, okay? So that means in 56 grams, we are looking at 260 calories. So that's just 56, right? So now we're looking at 73. So that is an extra, 17? I'm doing my math right? 56 plus 17. Yeah, 7, yeah. An extra 17, and if it was filled up, you know, a little bit more, maybe 20. This is more than another half a portion. So we're looking at 260 plus another half of the portion. So we're getting close to 325 to 350 calories, okay, in this bowl. This is the equivalent of a full meal with chicken, some healthy kind of carb, and vegetables, okay? We're looking at, you know, a really nutritional breakfast with some eggs, some toast, things that are actually going to get you full and keep you sustained throughout the day, instead of just some chips, Okay, so these chips, you're going to eat, 300, 400, calories, depending on how heavy you go on it. And you're going to get no satisfaction as far as being full for the most part. So this is where the food scale becomes very, very powerful. So what this does later on, and then we can look at what that portion looks like in this bowl. So it looks a lot bigger, right, in this bowl because it's spread out, right? So a lot of times depth actually makes the difference. And I'm not going to pour these back in here because it's a little awkward and I don't want to make a mess on the thing. But I did want to make the point that portion size is a lot determined based on what we put the actual thing in. So what that means for you is that along the way, you will learn what it looks like. So next time you go and use your dense bowl, you will know that if you put it to a certain level, that you're actually getting your 130, 150, whatever calories, right? So the only way you found that out, though, is by knowing the actual portion on this actual food scale, okay? This food scale is your ticket, okay, to intuitive eating. I cannot stress it enough, okay? You will never learn it on your own. You cannot sit there and count 9 chips, okay? The chips are not the same size. Okay, some snacks, yes, they are the same size. It's a little easier, but even that, trust me, I've tested it. They're not always the same, okay? They're not the 19, like even with my favorite, one of my favorite snacks, I have these Trader Joe's sweet potato chip. They're not chips, they're like crackers. And it says about 19 chips, and I've measured 19 chips, and it's always off or on, and they're pretty much the same size. So it's like, just why would you guess and keep it to chance when you could just actually know the number, right? So that is basically my demonstration. I have no idea how long this video has gone. It's gone a little long. My nose is still itching. I don't know who's talking about me, but hopefully it's good things. And I really hope that you found this helpful, and I really hope that it drove the point home that, you need a food scale. So it's one of those things where it's like a cheap purchase, and it's going to make the hugest impact, one of the hugest impacts of your fitness life. And, you should just go ahead and get it and just get one. Just get one. So, yeah, I'll leave it at that. Hopefully you found this helpful. Make sure that you get those workouts in your, little kit with all the nutrition and habit stuff. Make sure you like and subscribe. Other than that, eat well, drink well, take care of yourself, mind, body, and spirit, and I will see you next time.